there was a form of condemnation and judgment that did come in one sense to the people in the year 70, but maybe it still hasn't fully happened yet.
Or double fulfillment.
Double fulfillment.
Yes, I heard them all.
What happens to a person if they start to believe, wait a minute, the world's not going to end tomorrow, and there's actually maybe hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of years to go? What happens culturally for a Christian? Why does eschatology matter now?
This idea of the end being right around the corner, it changed my view of the future in terms of employment and family, which I wasn't married at the time. Economics, government. I mean, this was the 1970s. The world politically was a mess. I mean, the Soviet Union was still the Soviet Union. It was a big end time foe, right. Still is today.
There's nuclear weapons.
Right.
And at the end of the world could really have happened if everyone launched nukes.
Yeah, and you've had some prophecy writers saying, if there's talk about peace, that's a sign of the end. And if there's talk about war, that's a sign of the end. And what is a Christian to do?
Right.
Should a Christian oppose war? Well, if I do, then would that mean the Antichrist is going to come? Or should a Christian support, war? Well, but wait a minute, there's supposed to be a big end-time war.
And if I want peace, then I'm supporting the peace that maybe the Antichrist is going to usher in. That's not a true. It's not real peace, it's a lead up.
So I think a lot of Christians kind of gave up on the world. And it was to give them a bit of optimism regarding their eschatology. Yeah, things are getting worse and worse, but Jesus is going to return and rapture me out of here. And it's going to happen before I die, so I'm not even going to see death. And I'm not going to see the Great Tribulation. I'm not going to see the Antichrist. I'm not going to see Armageddon. I'm not going to see the slaughter of millions and billions of people. So that's an attractive position, if it's right. But I wrote a book, actually a series of books called God and Government. Not God and Politics, God and Government. How God is the governor of all things, and there's self-government under God, family government under God, church governments under God, and civil governments under God. And I wrote this 3-volume series. And I would go out and speak on this topic, showing how the Bible applied to the area of government. And I'll never forget this. There was a guy in the back of a class I was teaching. And he said, why are we wasting our time dealing with all of this? Because this requires changing our culture, and there's no way that's ever going to happen because the Bible says Jesus is coming back soon. This is coming with our generation.
This is the Titanic.
This is the Titanic. Why are you rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic? It's all going down.
Right.
And people still use that analogy today. And so that's probably 1983.
And for those who are counting, 5 years away from the rapture.
Yes. And so I said, I need to deal with this apologetically. Not very many people were dealing with it in terms within the Christian community itself.
Because you saw that there was work that needed to be done. That Christians needed to understand how, if Christ is Lord over all, right? If he's ruling and he is king, and he really is Lord over all areas of our lives, you had a passion to want to go and talk about this for our lives, for our marriages, education,
economics,
government, money, all that. So you're really excited because who would deny that? Everyone says yes. If Jesus is Lord of my life, then that's a pretty easy conversation to have.
Right.
And so you're excited about that, but then all of a sudden you're realizing people are also saying, "It's all going to end."
Yeah. What's the use?
It's all going to end, Gary.
Yeah.
We're not going to start a project we can't finish because it's already sinking.
Too much time.
It's too much. Right. Well, and it's futile.
And it's hard work, and we just put our efforts in.
Right. We just need to make sure we get people saved.
Yeah.
Get them
Which
to
is
know
a
the
good
gospel.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Get them saved because we got 5 years left. We're going to be raptured out, and that's a whole other thing. And you look at that moment, and you think,
I've got to deal with this in one way or another.